Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. Today we are diving deep into a topic that has been making headlines, sparking debates across the country. Simultaneous election in India, or the concept of one nation, one election. The idea sounds quite simple at first, holding general elections for both the Lok Sabha and the state assemblies at the same time. Supporters argue that it will bring efficiency, reduce cost and streamline governance, but there are a lot more to this idea than meets the eye. In this video, we will definitely go deeper and break down it. For instance, what exactly the simultaneous election means. What's the meaning of one election and one nation? One nation and one election, right? And why this proposal is not practical as it sounds. And the various complications it brings to governance, democracy, and even the everyday voter. By the end of this video, you will have a clear understanding of why simultaneous election or one nation one election could pose more problems than solutions. So without further, let's get into it. So what exactly are simultaneous elections? Simply put, it's the idea of holding national election, I mean Lok Sabha, and the state elections at the same time or in a single phase across entire country. The idea is that this would bring about several benefits, including reduced election cost and the elimination of election related disruptions that happen every few months. The one nation, one election concept is not new, but it's been gaining momentum in recent years with discussions surrounding how this could be achieved in a country as diverse as India. Currently, elections in India are conducted in phases. The Lok Sabha elections take place every 5 years, but the state assembly elections are spread across different times. Sometimes these elections even happen midterms if there is a collapse of a state government. The suggestions here is that both should happen simultaneously, ideally once every 5 years, to align the election cycle. Supporters of simultaneous elections says that this will not only reduce the financial burden of elections but also help politicians focus on governance, policy making, and development instead of being constantly in election mode. On paper, this sounds like a great idea. Fewer elections, lower cost, and less disruption. However, when you dig a little deeper into the logistic practicalities and the long-term implications of such systems, the reality becomes a bit more complicated. Let's talk about the logistical challenges that comes with implementing one nation one elections. India is the world's largest democracy with over 1.4 billion people spread approximately across a vast landmass of diverse regions, languages, and cultures. Conducting simultaneous election for both parliamentary and state election in a such country seems like an overwhelming task. Right now, the elections for the Lok Sabha and state assemblies are conducted in phases to ensure smooth management. This phased approach is necessary. It allows election officials and security forces to focus on smaller, manageable regions at a time. When an election is conducted across multiple regions at once, as is the case with simultaneous elections, the sheer scale of the operation would increase exponentially. Have you got my point? So consider the massive manpower required to organize elections across the entire country. In a typical election years, election holds in a typical election year, thousands of election officers, polling booths, security personnel, and transportation logistics are already stretched thin. If we tried to hold one nation, one election, the security and resources required would be astronomical, and that's just the practical side of the challenge. Imagine the confusion at polling stations, the risk of voter fraud, and difficulty of managing this without significant technological infrastructure. Plus, we cannot ignore India's geographical diversity. The challenges vary greatly across the plains, hilly terrains, and remote areas. Managing elections in such varied regions simultaneously would put enormous pressure on our administrative machinery. So, while the proposal sounds logical on paper, the practical side of it is far more complicated. And another major concern is the impact on governance. Supporters of One Nation, One Elections argue that this would allow government to focus on their policy agenda and long-term development project without the constant instruction of campaigning. But here's the problem. Here's the catch. What happens if a state government collapses midterm? In the current system, if a state assembly government falls, it triggers a by-election or a fresh election in that state. This keeps the state democratic and accountable to the people. But if all elections were held at once and a state government failed, there would be no immediate mechanism to address the void, right? And this could lead to prolonged periods without this prolonged period without proper governance. This could might be lead to prolonged periods without proper governance. Got it? And moreover, simultaneous election might create a scenarios where political parties would need to focus only on national issues, sidelining state level problems. Each state has a unique challenges, be it agricultural concern in Punjab or water scarcity in Tamil Nadu. But these would take a backseat to national politics. The federal structure of India allows the states to make their own decisions, but if national and state elections are wound together, this system could diminish the autonomy of states, undermining the idea of federalism. Also, the frequency of elections serves as a check on the power of elected officials. Regular elections keep governments on their toes, ensuring that they don't become too complacent. Holding elections only once every 5 years could erode this accountability. Now, let's discuss the issue of political instability. In India, we have seen number of instances of horse trading. So the problem of horse trading is very critical in India, where elected representatives are offered bribes or the inducements to switch parties. This practice is already a problem in some states. It happened in Madhya Pradesh, Maharashtra, and even some other states also, Goa, Uttarakhand. So horse trading is one of the key problem, and this practice is already one of the biggest problem, and it can be further increasing with simultaneous election also. The reason, if Lok Sabha and state assembly elections are held together, the stakes become much higher for political parties. This would increase the temptation for political maneuvering, party switching, or even corruption. For instance, a politician might be incentivized to change sides for personal or party gain during such all in encompassing electoral battle, right? This could destabilize state governments even more than before. Under the current system, if a government collapse or faces internal unrest, fresh elections can bring a new wave of leaders. But with simultaneous elections, the pressure on leaders to retain power will be greater, leading to even more backroom deals and unethical practices. And India, there is a lot of corruption in politics. And arguably, the biggest concern with the simultaneous election is how it could be undermine India's vibrant democracy. As I mentioned earlier, India is a federal democracy, meaning that power is shared between the central government and the state governments. This system gives states the autonomy to address their unique issues. Simultaneous elections could weaken this structure by favoring the central government and national issues over regional concerns. It's important to remember that elections are not just about selecting leaders, They are about holding governments accountable at both the national and state levels. When elections are spread out over time, they provide regular opportunities for voters to voice their opinions, express dissatisfaction and demand change. It can happen. And this ensures that the state government remain responsive and accountable to the people they serve. Got it? And by forcing one election cycle for all levels of government, regional issues might get overshadowed by larger national concerns. For example, I gave you that about agriculture might take a backseat in the election agenda if it doesn't align with national priorities. Similarly, the voice of small parties representing regional concerns might be drowned out by national political players. Moreover, a reduced frequency of election could undermine the concept of local representation. Regular elections at a different times allow for diverse perspectives to emerge, giving smaller regional parties and grassroots movement a chance to participate. With simultaneous election, larger parties might dominate the political landscape, further centralizing power and limiting political diversity. And supporters often argue, they always add economic angle, cost, and campaigns. So supporters often argue that one nation, one election will reduce financial burden on the government and political parties too. The idea is that if elections are conducted at the same time, it would reduce costs like security, election materials, and administrative expenses. But there are several flaws in this argument. First of all, organizing a one-time mega election across entire country would itself be a huge financial undertaking. The cost of conducting a nationwide election at once could be greater than the current system of staggered elections. In fact, some estimates suggest that the total cost of conducting such simultaneous election might even exceed the benefits. Moreover, political parties would likely increase their spending to reach a larger audience all at once. Instead of reducing campaign expenditure, the need to run simultaneous national and state campaigns will likely lead to higher cost. There would be intense competition for voter attention, potentially causing a rise in media cost, advertising, and travel expenses for candidates. Thus, the financial saving argument does not hold up when you consider the scale of election campaigning in the countries like India. So, after looking at all the angles, is the idea of simultaneous election really worth it? The theory might sound appealing, but when we dig deeper into complexities of governance, democracy, federalism, and practical logistics, it becomes clear that this idea possesses significant risks. While it may reduce election cost and simplify the process, the long-term consequences could hurt India's democracy and its ability to effectively govern at both national and state levels. It could create political instability, undermine regional issues, and reduce the accountability that we currently have in our system. Therefore, the answer to whether simultaneous election, one nation, one election, are the right path for India is not a clear cut. In a countries like India, which pride itself on democratic values, the cost of reducing frequency of elections might be too high. So thank you watching for this episode of We Got a Little Idea about this stuff. And I hope you have a better understanding of why simultaneous elections might not be simple as it seems. If you found this video insightful, right, so don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. And do check this article also. Your thoughts matters, so leave comments down below on what you think about the one nation, one election concept. It is a good idea or a step backward for India. Until next time, stay informed, stay engaged, take care. See you soon. Thanks for watching and listening again. Thank you.